Welcome back to Plumbing College. Here we go. Today's lesson is bending offsets. Right, okay, so we are going to bend an offset like this. So first of all, let's measure centre to centre so we can measure the pipe. And in this case, it's 40 millimetres. As a general rule, if the centre to centre measurement is less than 50 mil, we bend it 30 degrees. Let me show you. Right, so we draw two parallel lines 40 mil apart. We place our pipe so that the bottom is like this, and we then draw a line across. Pick him, I need your hands. I need your. Right, we now place the pipe into the bender. We need to make sure that the mark is touching the outside of the former, like this. And before we bend it, we need to make sure that it's straight. Okay, to make sure that it's straight. Like this. Now, and then, right, so we now need to bend the pipe 30 degrees because we bent it 30 to start with, we bend it back 30. Okay, so let's check our work. So 40 mil. There you go. Middle of it. I've got to hide that cross. You do that, you can do that. But I need to cover that up. Let's have a go at connecting a tap using an offset. So what we need to do, using a tap connector, at this stage it's all hand tight. We would screw it underneath the tap like this, and we'd then take a measurement from centre to centre. And in this case, the measurement is 80 millimetres. So the offset's got to be 80 millimetres. That's what we do. Because it's an 80 mil offset, we need to bend this pipe 45 degrees. So let's bend it 45 degrees. Which is there. Okay, so we bent it 45. Right, so what we can do, okay, we put it in the pipe bender this way up this time. Oh. Okay, so just like another method that you can do. This is more done on site. So get something straight, touching the former. Hold it parallel to the pipe like this. For example, that's not parallel, that's parallel there, a measure. So in this case, this is measuring 75 mil. So we need to just move the pipe a bit more. Just move it along a little bit and we check it again. Let's try that. So make sure it's touching the former and parallel. And in this case, it is now 80mm. So we are now ready to bend this pipe. But one more thing, before we bend it, okay, so just make sure the pipe is straight. Okay, when it is, let's bend it back 45 degrees. Okay, and you can always run your eye down it as well, just to make sure it's parallel. Or you could place some pipe on top of the pipe like this and measure the gap to see if it's parallel to check. Okay, so now we've bent the pipe, so we just need to work out where we want it. So what we can do is we can line it up to where we think it's going to look right. So I think about here. Then we look at where the pipe goes into the fitting, and we mark it, and we cut it here for the tap connectors. It's always easier if you do it up out of situ. So what I mean by this is out of situ. So that's done up. So there's only one joint to do under the sink. So we then pop this into the compression fitting. We then pop this under the sink. So we've done this up hand tight. So what we do now, we do up the compression. So we need to have, okay, so we'll do this one up tight. And then finally, using the basin wrench, we'll then do this one up. Okay. And then ideally, when you do the second bend, make sure the planes are cut to the same height so it looks nice. Now it's your turn to have a go.